Hello, welcome everybody. Here is your lesson on 4-1, the Pythagorean theorem. This one should be pretty quick because I'm sure all of you know and recognize the Pythagorean theorem. First of all, with the Pythagorean theorem, it does only work for right triangles. So every time you use this theorem, there has to be a right angle in the triangle. So let me draw a little bit better triangle here. It'll only work on triangles like that. So all you have to know is that A is one of the legs, B is the other leg, and C is the hypotenuse. What is the hypotenuse? The hypotenuse is the longest side. Let me get out my good old laser pointer here. Oh, there it is. Hypotenuse is the longest side, and it's always the side that's across from the right angle. So here's your right angle. Across from it, it does not form the right angle, is your C. That's really the only thing you need to know. A and B are the legs, and you can flip-flop these either way. The triangle the Pythagorean theorem inequality is still a squared plus b squared, but it's not equal to c squared. You could change these equals to inequalities, and that helps you to determine if a triangle is acute or obtuse. Because if it equals c squared, it's got to be a right triangle. So if it doesn't equal, then, for example, this greater than symbol will then help you form a cute little triangle, which would look like that. Or if it's less than, then you're going to have an obtuse angle in that triangle, and it'll look like that. It's weird because backwards, obtuse means big, larger than 90, but then the sign is less than. So it's kind of backwards of the way you'd think about it. So let's do some practice. Here's my first one. This is example number 1. Here's my triangle here. I need to first of all determine which side am I looking for. I'm looking for this side, and that side is C. So I do know my A. My A is 5, so A squared plus B, B is 14, 14 squared, equals, well, I don't know that missing side. That would be C squared. Now, 5 squared is a pretty easy number. That's 25. 14 squared, a little bit more complicated. You got to do 14 times 14 in your calculator, and you get 196. And then you continue to solve using your regular algebra. So 196 plus 25 is 221, and that gives me c squared. And to get rid of the square, use square root. So the square root of 221 gives me an answer of 14.86, repeating. It's not repeating. It's 866 something something. So basically here is your final answer for this missing side. Now, since it is the hypotenuse, it's across from this right angle, it will be the largest number, and 14.8 is definitely larger than 14. It's close, but it's still larger. You could leave it in square root form, square root of 221. That's okay sometimes. You can simplify square roots, but the decimal answer is fine. Sometimes you may not have a picture, and you might have to draw one yourself. So it really doesn't matter how you draw the right triangle as long as there's a right angle in it, or the Pythagorean theorem does not apply. So this is example 2. Now in this case it's a little different because I do know the C, and I do know A, but I do not know the B, so one of the legs. So you apply it to do A squared plus B squared, which I don't know, equals C squared, which is 10 squared. 10 squared, 10 times 10 is 100, 8 squared is 64, and then you solve just like the last one, except you actually have to swing the 64 over to the other side. So b squared equals 100 minus 64, which gives me a result of 36. So square root, sometimes you do get a whole number. So in this case, b is 6. Okay, pretty simple. Now, the inequality, how does... Now, I've drawn one here with a right angle to kind of just show you what's happening, but it doesn't really have a right angle right there. I don't really know what it is, but I could draw the picture, or the picture might be given to me. But the triangle inequality is a squared plus b squared something c squared for the inequality, and you have to determine is it less than or greater than. So in this case, I put in my a and b. 3 squared is 9, plus 8 squared is 64. 64, and then 64 plus 9 is 73. This is my c. My c is 10. 10 squared is 100. So then I've got 100 and 73. Well, 73 is less than 100. So less than, really you think it's small, but it's actually big, so it's the obtuse type of angle. So you're just trying to identify if this triangle is acute, obtuse, or right, and if these were equal, then it would be right. So technically, if I were to draw this properly, it would look like this. 8, 3, and 10. That's about it. Pretty short video for today. Thanks for listening.